unbeknownst to me, I was being an accomplice to something.
You have been fired from working with the Clayton County Board of Commissioners by your former boss, Commissioner Jeff Turner. You have a warrant out for your arrest. How did we get to this point?
Okay, first let me say that I'm being falsely accused with sending a fake threatening email to Chairman Turner. And the letter was designed to make it look like the former Sheriff Victor Hill wrote the letter. And so the GBI came in for an investigation. And due to the fact that I was Chairman Turner's executive assistant, it's not uncommon for him to come to me and ask me for blank envelopes or county envelopes, and for me to seal the envelope up and give it back to him. So nothing raised a red flag that I was giving him stamps and sealing two letters that was addressed to myself and him, unbeknownst to me what the contents of the letter was, which turned out to be a fake threat. And like I stated, that the letter was designed in such a way to make it appear that former Sheriff Victor Hill did it. It looked like he did, but he didn't. Chairman Turner wrote that threat to himself.
So you're accusing him of being the person to send these threatening letters to himself and to you. How are you coming up with this conclusion? What's your proof there?
He is the one. Okay, there had been bad blood between him and the former Sheriff Victor Hill for years.
So how do we know that you didn't collaborate with the commissioner and now
I
you're
don't,
upset?
I don't have any issues. I've only been with Clayton County for 4 years. I don't have any issues with Sheriff Victor Hill at all. Never had a run-in with him, never had an altercation, never had a verbal altercation or anything. I don't have anything to gain. So he had more to gain. I had nothing to gain about being an accomplice, participating, writing the letters, faking it as if I was fearful or scared when I got the letter. I have nothing to gain whatsoever. Chairman Turner has everything to gain.
Okay, so let me ask you here. So the Atlanta Press has obtained an incident report. This is the probable cause report as well. And so let me read you a sentence here. So it says, accused was questioned, and that's you, on 2 occasions during the interview. Accused claimed that former Clayton County Sheriff Victor Hill or another person working on Hill's behalf was behind sending the threatening letter to the Commissioner Turner. So did
Right.
you just make that up?
No, eventually, at the beginning, I thought so because because everything that was going on, and I thought that the former sheriff did it. But then after the interview and then showing me the envelope and the evidence, I knew he didn't. But if you would have to have been in that environment to understand why, in the conversation that Chairman Turner and I have had, knowing their bad blood, the history, that when that letter came and how it was addressed, and the letter came right after the deputies and the PD had that incident. So it led me to believe that, hey, maybe possibly he did have it. That Victor might have, if he did not write it himself, he authored and had somebody else to write it. I honestly thought that.
Do you
So
regret saying that?
I do. I'm so regretful that I allowed myself to get caught up and believe that although somebody has bad blood, between each other, and then you hear all this negative stuff, and then when something like this come forward or happen, you automatically go to, yeah, this person did it. And I honestly thought he did, and I feel terrible that I accused a person of writing a threat that had nothing to do with it whatsoever. And he was capable of writing it, but this time he didn't.
So
And
have
I,
you
I do apologize for even thinking that. I'm
have you
regretful.
confronted your former boss? What has been said between the two of you, if anything?
The first week in November, when everything kind of, I said, okay, I made a comment. I said, you wrote that letter. And he looked at me, and he has a habit of, he'll sit back in his chair and he'll do this, and he'll rock back and forth. And he said, you being nosy. You need to go back and to your office and do your work. Don't you have work to do? I'm like, I have plenty of work to do. He said, okay. And then he just stared at me. I stared at him. I said, I know you wrote it. And I said it in a joking way. He did not. If I accuse you of having written that letter to Chairman Turner, you would have some very choice words for me. He did not deny it. He did not say anything to the fact that I'm not a part of this. I didn't write this. Why would I write something to myself or to you? Did not deny it whatsoever. He would have me to use my personal email to send email to a very vocal citizen. Her name is Carol Yancey, and send her emails instructing her how to do open records on the former Sheriff Victor Hill and other commissioners on the board. Take that information that she would get from open records and use that to come to the board meetings and doing public comment, make accusations and attack them with the information that she received. And I have the emails to prove it.
Okay, so this should be pretty common knowledge at this point. Public officials are not supposed to use private emails. So why did you engage in that?
That's my boss. I did not see anything wrong with it. I really didn't. Was I naive or gullible about it? Maybe so. But I did not see anything wrong with, in hindsight, yes, that was wrong. I should have said, if you want me to send, we got to use the county email. See, if you use the county email, you can do open records and get a history of it. But he would not think that, because nobody would think to ask for or get permission to have my email, my personal email. So he would tell me what to write in the email to Miss Yancey. I would use my personal email, the email that you sent me the link to, and send her emails instructing her on specific things to ask for in the public in the open record. One of the commissioners, Commissioner Felicia Franklin, she told the GBI that she has proof that Chairman Turner is the author of that threat to himself. The GBI, the agent Thomas Steele, would not listen to her. She has the proof to back up what I'm saying. But no, but wouldn't listen to her.
Okay, so let me ask you this again. I want to backtrack. So he's telling you to use your personal email to correspond with someone, telling them to put in a public records request. So then
Yes.
he could use that records request in his game. Why didn't
Yes.
you at some point think that this isn't something you should be doing? I mean, it seems fairly obvious the way you described it that there's something wrong with these directions, right?
You know, I'm going to be honest. I honestly did not see, and my thing is, at the point when all of this drama and mess and confusion was going on, and because I was loyal, very loyal to him, I'm thinking I'm helping him to try to alleviate some of the attacks that were coming at him. And as a loyal employee to him, I didn't see anything wrong with it. In hindsight and in speaking today, yes, that was wrong. I should have never used my personal emails, but I did on his behalf.
Okay, so let's talk about this upcoming week here. So you plan on turning yourself in on Tuesday? I mean, what's next for you right now?
Yes, I'm going to turn myself in on Tuesday, and then my attorney, what we're going to do is we're going to fight this because I'm innocent, and vigorously fight this because I am not the one that authored the letter. Did I give him the stamp and did I tape it for him? Yes, I did. But unbeknownst to me, what the content was in there, I never asked him as my boss, oh, what is this in the inside? Because normally when he comes to ask for a blank envelope, it's something personal. I know that. I've worked with him for 4 years. So if it's something county related, okay, that's fine. It's county related. But when it's a white blank envelope, I didn't question, and he knows that. He knows I don't question him in regards to that.
But shouldn't you be though? I mean, they're your stamps. You know, it's personal matters. This is public taxpayer dollars. I mean,
No,
you're been in this industry for a while.
Right. The stamps are my stamps. I purchased the stamp. And the envelopes, they were just plain envelopes that the county, that the office had. So that can be considered taxpayer resources because they're plain white envelopes. They were not my envelopes, they were county plain white envelopes. But I didn't see anything wrong with it. Did not. I had no reason to think that unbeknownst to me, I was being an accomplice to something. And I had a very good working relationship with him. I trusted him. I did not have a reason not to trust him whatsoever. So nothing raised a red flag for me to say, hey, wait a minute. Why do you want a stamp? Why you say nothing? It never raised any suspicion or red flags or anything. And as I say, I'm his executive assistant. Now, if he had told me to do some other stuff that I just blatantly knew was corrupt, no, I would not have done that. But just mailing out something, I don't think any executive assistant or any assistant to any C-suite leader would question or have a reason to think that something is suspicious if you have a good working relationship.
Okay. So ahead of you turning yourself in, obviously you're talking to us exclusively here for the Atlanta Press. What do you want people to know? What haven't I asked you yet that you want the public to understand, especially for those who think you're lying?
Okay, and first, I'm glad you said that. I want the public to know, especially the Clayton County citizens, that oftentimes that a person can project an image that you think they are something because they have a history and a pattern of playing the victim and using people. I was used in this plot in hatching this plan unbeknownst to me. And I regret that I was too trusting, too loyal, and I should have been more maybe my antenna should have been up a little more about something, but in my mind, I'd had no reason at that time to even think about that he would even put me in a situation like that because I was loyal to him. I had his back. Any and everything that would come to me, he was informed. I was an excellent executive assistant to him. People in the community, people that we partner with, anyone that came in contact with me will always tell him, Dr. Holloway has your back. She's got your back. And I had no reason to not to trust him. And I want people to know that although I'm in this situation,